Ow! Sick guy. I am King Ross and I'm a real sick guy. Gannon, also Raj necking, bear strong cowie he's. I love Kirby, he is my spirit animal. Mean slays bear women, his balls are so massive. They are King Ross guys, hooray. No doubt about it, they are my f***ing base. It's unbelievable, Jeff. W-T and F. Follow me on Twitter. I'm going to do this song better than Hendraaay. I'm a sick guy, Alex Shea.
I'm King Ross, and yes, this is still Grado's bum bag. He has not called me to pick it back up. Do you even watch me, Graham? We used to be so tight together. Should I've called him Graham just there? Who knows? But here are all the WTF moments from the spectacular that was WCPW Stacked. It was canny good, wasn't it? Not bad at all. Now then, just like Moose was when he emerged through the curtain, I bet you were f***ing confused at home by the lack of reaction the former Ring of Honor star was getting. Yes, the man got crickets when he first emerged for that match against Joe Coffey. As you can see there, with one man and one man alone doing his Moose thing. Of course, that alone is a WTF moment, but the Moose chants that grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew over those 2 nights certainly are WTF moments as well. They were pissing everywhere. You couldn't get rid of the bastards, no matter the match, no matter who was in the match, or no matter the situation. The Moose chants were endless. All that after giving them nothing in his first appearance in the WCPW ring. WCPW Universe, what's going on? And yes, we have our first trip to the commentary booth with my good pal DBL, Mr. Dave Bradshaw, who claimed Joe Coffey weighed in at WCPW stacked at a mighty 23 stone. I don't think so, Mr. DBL, my good friend. I think those 23 stones, they normally belong to Big Damo, Joe Coffey. He weighs in at 110 kilos of raw minerals, which equates to 17 stone and 3 pounds. How about the bare skills of that sick motherfucker in the wheelchair who managed to keep his balance despite over 500 pounds of humanity coming crashing into him? What fucking arms of steel that bastard's got. And how about that moment where Mr. Alex Shane said, and the crowd come to their feet even though there was a man in a wheelchair in shot? How fucking painful were those segments involving Jack the Jobber and Jennifer Louise and Mrs. Nixon Newell? Me sideways and call me Betty. I do not want to sit through stuff like that again. The cringe was a bit too much. But Jennifer, the delectable Jennifer. But Jennifer, the delectable Jennifer, if Twitter followers is what floats your boat, this sick guy has a full 2,000 more than Jack the Jobber. See you now. Prince Bro, Twitter followers, does that work? No? What's that I hear you cry? Another big name from across the pond in a WCPW ring. Yes, that's right, Mr. Eric Bischoff appeared, and yes, once again with these American imports, Adam Blampied wasn't so far behind, proving that he really is the Vince Russo of WCPW, booking himself in all these fancy little segments in the ring with some big bloody names. What a there. What a massive Oh, well, I guess after a long talking segment in the ring, Blampied will be getting a crossroads hit on him and then somehow a simultaneous sharpshooter and ankle lock at the same time, won't he? Because he has to be involved with all the imports, doesn't he? Because he's Adam Blampied, the most important thing. How about that moment when Mr. Adam Blampied was singing happy birthday to himself when Stacked was aired on September the 3rd, even though if you look at his Twitter profile page, Chris, you will see that his actual birthday is on August 24th. I think that somebody was too focused on putting themselves over despite realising that WCPW stack was taped and would be aired a couple of weeks after it was taped, you f***ing moron! Blampied. Off. I bet you were both shocked and disgusted hearing the WCPW fans in Newcastle, England booing the announcement that Bret Hart will be at WCPW in October. Well, let me tell you, fine sirs and ladies and in between, it's all Eric Bischoff's fault. Yes, I'm going to be picking fault at Eric Bischoff's promos. You know why? He made it sound as if Bret Hart was in the O2 Academy on August 24th when that announcement was made. Not that Bret would be appearing in Manchester. It is Manchester, isn't it? Not that Bret would be appearing in Newcastle on the 6th of October and then Manchester a few days later. I can't remember the dates because I don't give a f***. Just to clarify, I do give a f***. Bret Hart's a really big deal. Really big. So big. Oh my God, so big. Back to what I was saying anyway. So after an initial mark-out f***ing moment for the masses inside the O2 Academy, that October graphic came up on the screen and everyone started booing the shit out of it because it wasn't happening on that night. Eric, you silly bugger, you should have said they were coming in October before you... Pete f***ing done the first surprise appearance in WCPW history. WTF. Yes, I know we're not in a new era in WCPW history, but it's the same old shit happening again. That spot where a wrestler's pinned up against the guardrails and fans hold them back while somebody chops the shit out of them. That, my friends, is outside interference. Drew should have been DQ'd for having outside interference in his favour. There's no joke I can make here. I'm just going to say what happens because that's more than enough. You shagged Thatcher, chance at Doug Williams. Doug Williams replies, dead or alive? So it should be like a Tory Katie Vick. It's Alex 8 o'clock, motherfuckers. I can't believe it. And how about that moment when Mr. Alex Shane said that I should be joining him on commentary for WCPW. Is he deaf? Probably, because I was f***ing at commentary. What's that, Alex? You couldn't get enough of me putting myself over when I should have been putting those in the ring over? You like that sort of thing, do you? You sick bastard. Now, he might be a sick bastard that likes dark and disturbing things like the thought of me being back on commentary in WCPW. But Alex Shane, my friend, you were on fire at Stacked. Really good. I think I'm more like Hacksaw because I've got a giant plank sat next to me. I popped. You know that kick that Mr. William Osprey does where he bends his opponent down the corner and pins the head up against the top turnbuckle before delivering a super kick to them? That's called a Cheeky Nando's kick. I mean, what? What? So you know how in Japan Shinsuke Nakamura's name was always announced as Nakamura Shinsuke? Good that, wasn't it? I cannot wait for Mr. William Osprey to head back over to Japan, perform the Cheeky Nando's kick, and for it to be pronounced as the Nando's Cheeky kick. That's going to be class, isn't it? Adam Parmesan is a tit. Once again, a wrestler appearing on WCPW for the first time delivered a pile driver. This time we had Marty Scurll delivering a tombstone of his own. That, of course, is the variation of a pile driver. The pile driver, of course, is illegal in WCPW. Parmesan just announced that they are now legal for f***'s sake and stop causing me all this aggro. So how about that moment when Mr. William Osprey hit a space flying tiger drop thing and then a one-man Spanish fly thing on Marty Scurll. And then Mr. Marty Scurll, he went out and kicked out at a count of one. And barely a one count at that. I mean, bloody hell, WTF, the man should have been laid out for the three, but no, he was there skirling up at the count of one. Respect her. Opinions are like arseholes. Everybody has one. And Mr. Alex Shane's opinion that Osprey versus Skull is the greatest match in WCPW history is f***ing hilarious. How can Shane be saying that mere days after my bae, my spirit animal, my favourite wrestler in the world today, Mr. Martin Kirby, toppled the great William Osprey, the best of the Super Juniors William Osprey. Yes, that's right, I am making somebody's opinion something completely subjective, a WTF moment. You know why? It's because I'm a sick guy. The left-handed scout handshake is a formal way of greeting other scouts of both genders used by members of the Scout and Guide organisations around the world. The handshake is made when the hand nearest the heart is offered as a token of friendship. Why the f*** were Will Osprey and Marty Skull doing that in the middle of a WCPW ring? Are they both members of the Scouts at their age? Come on now. Surely not. Left-handed handshake. WTF. Now am I the only one, or is there more people out there questioning whether Doug Williams had a one-night stand in New Zealand roughly 30 years ago? It's a little bit scary how much Travis Banks looked like Big Doug, isn't it? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. You dirty dog, Doug. But could you imagine if Travis Banks actually was Doug Williams' son, which if you look at the pair's faces side by side, is a distinct possibility. It puts Doug in a bit of a pickle, doesn't it? You know, because Brexit and Britain's great and all that shtick. Does he send his son packing back from whence he came, or does he embrace him and let him prosper on the British wrestling scene? Tune in next week where you will not find out, because this will not be made into a storyline because I'm just not important around here. Gabriel Kidd continues to do whatever the f*** he wants, the little shit. Doesn't he know he's under contract with Prince Amin? He has to do whatever the good prince says. But no, there he is, interjecting himself into a tag team match when Prince Amin... Well, he didn't offer his services, really, did he? He flip-reversed his decision, didn't he? Fucking arsehole, Gabe, you arsehole. How about the size of the balls on WCPW for coming out with their own red belt after the utter travesty that is the Universal Championship in WWE was revealed at SummerSlam. The balls on Parmesan. It's almost as if he ordered that red belt before WWE revealed their own red belt. It's almost as if that happened, which it did. How about that moment when my good pal Mr. Ryan Devlin announced that the last women's standing match between Bea Priestley and Nixon Newell was scheduled for one fall. Chris?
One fall.
It's a last women's standing match. It's not scheduled for one fall, you silly pillock. The chair to Priestley's head, the curb stomp on the chair, the kick through the chair, the German suplex onto the chair. You have never seen a more brutal women's match in 2016, I can guarantee you that. Sasha, Charlotte, Bayley, eat your hearts out, lasses, because WCPW is where it's at for women's wrestling. How about the editing team at WCPW failing to replace that complete abomination for Grado's theme? Yes, we're guilty. We played like a prayer live in the arena, but of course, legal things exist, which means we have to dub something over the top. And I don't think in the history of wrestling a dubbing has been more misplaced than that one. Ever. Did I not rip the piss out of it enough last time? Is that what you want, you sick fucks in the editing team? Just change the fucking thing. Fuck. Those chants of Harambe towards Primate. I mean, I suppose I must have missed that time that Primate dragged an innocent child through his enclosure. And of course, we all must not forget that Primate avoided me at the last set of WCPW tapings, and that in the last 7 days, he started to like just about every tweet I put out. That little video I did besmirching Joe Hendry to the tune of AC/DC's TNT, he liked it. I put a picture on Twitter that Ollie took at ringside of Primate spurting blood onto an innocent fan's face. He liked that. He retweeted that. Stop liking and retweeting my things and take me on like a man, you big gorilla pussy. We're not in a new era, but same old shit. that guardrail spot that Drew Galloway did, that Grado did previously on WCPW, was repeated once again by Grado. Fan interference, DQs, referees, you know. Ugh. They did it again, the commentary team. They f***ing did it again. A Grado cutter. It's in our Grado. How many pissing times do you need to be told? For f***'s sake, maybe I do need to go back on commentary. No. That near fall in the main event, inconclusive camera angles, maybe the chair was under his shoulder, maybe Henry did just do that. Either way. Questions. Bare questions. WTF. Joseph Connors is the new WCPW champion. You smarks out there didn't see that coming, did you? Misdirection, that wasn't it? All you smarky smarks out there were thinking we're going to turn Henry heel, but no, Mr. Connors goes to the dark side. F*** you! And to all you f***ing virgins on Reddit that go, oh, you have to turn heel to win the WCPW championship. There's only been f***ing 2. And finally, we have the fact there was no replays in WCPW stacked when there was numerous moments there should have been. Bare moments I wanted to see again and again and again, most notably the moment that Martin Kirby got the pinfall to win the match for him and Travis Banks. I could have watched that 10 times back to back, no problem. I'll tell you why this was. It was because the commentary was recorded live on the night. The commentary team didn't have any replays to play with, so if we put them in with no commentary on top of them, it would have looked f***ing strange. And as an extra, f*** you, we disabled rewind on the live stream. I'm not technical, so I have no f***ing idea why that decision was taken, but you know, it harmed your viewing experience, so I'm all for it. And that's it for all the WTF move-ons from WCPW Stack to WCPW Stack that proved that WCPW has arrived as a viable, fine running machine of a promotion.
Do you want to see WCPW live but are allergic to the awful people of Newcastle? WCPW is coming to Greater Manchester on Saturday the 8th of October to the Altrincham Silver Blades Arena. Your ticket won't just get you a stat card featuring Cody Rhodes versus Kurt Angle, but will also grant you access to our first ever fan convention during the day. Meet the What Culture guys, have photos with your favourite WCPW wrestlers, a host of other surprises, and VIP members will get to meet Kurt Angle and Cody Rhodes in person. Tickets can be bought at WC.PW.